I saw something very interesting from Team 3D Alpha, very underrated YouTuber. You should subscribe to him. But the thing I found out just confounds this idea that you are a complete disappointment to your ancestors. And the thing is, your ancestors were alpha males. Now I know you were like, oh well, yeah, they lived a different lifestyle, blah blah blah. I know, but no, this is different. The fact you even exist is a miracle. Now, from the Christian point of view, of course, but even from a secular worldview, it's a complete and utter miracle that you exist. Most men long ago didn't even get to reproduce. If you weren't top of the food chain, you didn't get to reproduce. There's a number here. According to a lot of different sources, for example, specific standard, 17 women reproducing for every one man. 17 women producing for every one man. It's not 1-to-1, and women were not promiscuous. So basically, now I know some nerd might be like, well, actually, it's a bit different. You're off by 0.5 points. I don't care. For all intents and purposes, for every 17 men, only one got to reproduce. 17 and 1. 1 and 17. 1 and 17. That means you had to be better than every... If you weren't in the top, what is that? Like... That's almost... Like, that's like less than top 10%. If you weren't in there, you didn't get to reproduce. You didn't even get to touch a woman, let alone reproduce. Your ancestors were alphas. It's different now. You don't... The stat now, every man, as long as you're not a complete retard, you can pass on your genes, but no. All of those, I guarantee you, all 16 of those men who didn't get to pass on their genes were better than most of you. Better than the average guy on the street. And they didn't get to reproduce. Their bloodlines ended. But your ancestor was an alpha, and he got to pass on his genes. Now, I just want to address something really quickly. I know some of my Christian viewers made the test the dating, and they use, like, no, the universe hasn't existed X amount of years. Fine, you can test the dating. That's okay. We can talk about that. But the point stands. Most men, long time ago, didn't get to reproduce. The fact you exist, from a reproduction standpoint, is a complete miracle. So... You have alpha ancestors. Your ancestors are G's. And then you're here, sitting, broke, and jerking off 24/7. Quite the fall from grace, right? Anyways. This is just some food for thought. I know everyone talks about how our ancestors lived different lifestyles, had more testosterone, blah, blah, blah. We know that. But this is just to confound it. Just add another thing on top of it. And this should be great motivation for you all, because now it's not like that. It's easy to be the best man out of 20 people. I already made a video about this. About how everyone's a loser, and me in the top 5% of men is actually easy when you think about it. When you think about the math. You could be what was called a degenerate 200 years ago. And now you're in the top 5% of men. That's how far humanity has fallen. Men specifically, women, they have their own issues, but men have fallen, alright? We've just, flopped. Disappointment. So with all of these factors in mind, everything else I talk about, let's just add another thing on top. If this doesn't motivate you, not many other things will. And I know I use that saying a lot. If this doesn't motivate you, then X. Yeah, I know. I use it a lot. But it's true. I shouldn't have to tell you all of these things. I shouldn't have to tell you your ancestors were alphas. I shouldn't tell you have a God to please. I shouldn't have to tell you have a family to please. I shouldn't have to tell you blah, 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 top 5%, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I shouldn't have to tell you all this. Every single individual one of these should be motivation enough to fix your life. Now, when you add all these on top, I don't see how anybody could still be a loser.